Hello, my name's Alex Philly and you're watching part 25 of the Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Warriors Let's Play. Okay, so now we're on to mission number 25, which is an interesting battle. It is Super Saiyan Kid Trunks versus Future Trunks, two purple-haired warriors. Okay, so we're training in the Room of Space and Time. It's kind of interesting they put this battle into the game. They could have obviously had a few different ones for the Boost Saga. Perhaps there was a reason why they decided not to include some other characters like Deborah, Spopovich and Pui Pui. After the martial arts tournament, most of the battles do seem to be just one-on-one fights against Boo. They could have done more with the tournament possibly. They could have had Gotenks against Piccolo or something, because you never see his Super Saiyan form. Yeah, it's sort of interesting they decided to go with this kind of thing. I guess having 10 battles for each saga sort of limited them with regards to what they could do and what they couldn't do. It's still quite good though. I guess if they had a few more missions in between levels, they could have had things like Goku against Raditz, Piccolo and Krillin against Nappa, could have had like Zarbon and Dodori, those kind of characters, but at the same time I can see what they've done. They've like sort of streamlined it and obviously tried to make it like a game and have a few fun little things that are sort of hidden, that are only in this game and nowhere else, so I kind of respect that from a design perspective. So for this battle I picked Super Saiyan Kid Trunks. I also picked his strongest melee move and the strongest beam move, because he's slightly more powerful and he does have the F Buster special attack, which does quite a lot of damage. At the moment we're both neck and neck. I'm just going to charge up. Trunks has put on an after image which is going to improve his avoiding abilities, but hopefully I should be able to get around that. Not much to say about the Room of Space and Time. It's one of the simplest level designs because you just have a building in the middle of the room and everything else is just like white tiles, white sky. It's just super easy to do. Sort of like that scene in The Matrix when Neo and Trinity get all the guns and it's just like this kind of white area and there's just guns everywhere. Not the best looking place to train though, and must get a bit boring. Definitely imagine it must be very frustrating if you get lost in there. I'm sure it would have happened with Trunks and Vegeta. Or in this case, it happens that Future Trunks got so lost that he went forward in time. Well, I don't know, it's a video game, it's video game logic, you can't just kind of have to say everything follows the canon of the anime series. You've noticed on the top left of the screen I've put on my Kibito guard, because there's a very good chance that Trunks might use Burning Attack. Although, you might find that Future Trunks actually tends to use the Rising Kick quite a lot. Although Kid Trunks actually uses his melee attack quite a lot as well. In fact, out of all the characters, Trunks is probably one of the ones most likely to use melee moves, except for Android 17 of course, who tends to use Crazy Rush quite a lot, and Raccoon. So I'm going to take some damage, so that's going to be bad, but what I'll do is I'll just use that extra CC and just launch a few special moves while I can. So I'm going to use my limit, and I'm going to use the Fin Buster, or the F Buster, depending on the version. Could be Finish Buster or Final Buster. That's the problem with abbreviations, you can never quite tell. Anyway, so this is hopefully going to do some damage, and Trunks didn't avoid it, and it did quite a bit of damage, so it's taken him about to 35% health, which is about the same that I'm at. He might have slightly more, but oh well. Hopefully I'll still be able to beat him, so I'm going to use the... Hang on a sec. I'm not going to use avoiding because after image, because I've already got the Kibito up there. I think having Kibito there pretty much stops anything. I mean, the after image might help against melee moves, but I think Trunks is a lot more likely to use beams now. I'd rather use Champ Belt and avoiding. So I mean, I could use that just to be double sure, and obviously there's a chance I could auto evade it, but that's quite a low chance, especially if I've not invested in speed like some other players might have. Yeah, so I'm going to stick with my Kibito. I'm going to get some more CC and hopefully I'll be able to beat him. Right, B-A-B-O-B. So that's done a stage attack and I'm attacking. So I should have quite a bit of CC left. I mean, one of the things that sort of annoys me about this game is you have to keep moving, so you have to keep getting close to your opponent, but I think it's because some of the stage attacks move the opponent away and things like that, so I can understand that, but it does sort of annoy me somewhat. I'm the kind of guy that always likes to move close to the opponent, and obviously that sort of wastes like maybe a third of my defensive turns, which is pretty bad. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting a bit how much time it takes to do stage attacks, that kind of thing. Out of all my things, that's probably my bad habit, so to speak, but I just always like having the maximum amount of time for the stage attacks, so I always tend to move close. But obviously there's a good reason. I mean, the other player could obviously move further back, if they were good at stage attacks, they could just keep moving back, and you'd have like hardly any time for stage attacks. So I've used my melee move, and Trunks is using the avoiding, which didn't work, and I've taken him down to very low health, so it looks like I'll probably win this match, so that's obviously a good thing. I tried this a few times before and I did fail, but yeah, that's the thing about using certain characters. It gets a lot easier later on in the game when you can just use absolutely anyone for any characters. So you can obviously just beat everyone with Vegeta or Final Boo or whatever you like. Okay, so Trunks' beam attack cancelled my Kibito, so obviously I'm going to try and finish this off as quickly as possible. A 3-stage attack probably isn't going to kill him here, so I'm going to have to try and use the 6th stage, but obviously that gives him a bit of time to do something. But he's using Trunks' sword, probably the best character to use Trunks' sword. But it's probably a bad move here, because obviously he's just going to waste his CC and I'm just going to finish him off as quickly as possible. When you're at this kind of situation where your health is extremely low, the only things you can do is either try and kill your opponent as fast as possible, depending on how much ki you have, or what you could try and do is heal yourself quickly enough, but the problem with healing cards in this game is that they don't heal you to full health, they only heal you about maybe 30%, so obviously you have to keep kind of using those a lot, and they're not really cheap in terms of CC usage. And then you've got things like Resurrection, which obviously you can use multiple times, but obviously that costs a lot of CC and it takes time, and your opponent could easily just charge those CC and just finish you off to quick. Kid Trunks is moving close and he's going to beat up Future Trunks. I suppose it's in probably the best interest if Kid Trunks wins, because obviously if Future Trunks killed Kid Trunks, then there'd be no Future Trunks, but anyway, yay, win! So, let's have a look. We've got Rising Kick, Cell Combo. Rising Kick, obviously they're one of the strongest melee moves in the game, and quite a good move to use, but only Future Trunks can use it. Future Trunks says they're strong. Kid Trunks says that Future Trunks isn't bad though. Trunks wonders what the two guys are doing there, and they're training. They're on a mission to defeat Boo. Boo-hoo. And Kid Trunks says the Earth's fate is in their hands. Future Trunks wishes them luck, and then runs away fast. Kid Trunks wonders who it was. Goten says, he looks like you, Trunks. Trunks says, no way, I'm better looking. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah. And they start training. 7 days after the training, Boo showed up. How did he get in here? Anyway, Boo says it's an odd place. Trunks says they've been waiting for him, Mr. Pink. And they're going to show off the fusion move. And they say, fusion, hiya! In this game you don't see the failed fusions, which is probably a good idea, because they are pretty bad. Okay, in Supreme Kai's world, Gohan's still getting used to the sword. Goku says it seems like a sharp sword. He tried cutting the strongest metal in the universe, and it managed to break the sword. Oh no! Story 26, Training Success, the end for Boo. Okay, so everyone's completely shocked because the sword broke. Maybe that was the real power of the sword, Gohan thinks. Someone says wrong, hee. And it is Elder Kai. He's a former Kaio from 15 generations ago. Wowzers. And he got sealed in the sword, but now he's released. Anyway, Elder Kai says he's got an ability to bring out the best in people. A bit like Guru did. And he'll become the strongest man in the universe. And he won't even have to go Super Saiyan anymore. Except in the movies. So Gohan asked to increase the strength. But Elder Kai is using the special ability. Hun 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 hun. Hun 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 hun. And Gohan's getting annoyed. Hiya! And Goku says, how long is this gonna take? And Elder Kai says, 5 hours of ritual, 20 hours to power up. What? So Goku's gonna take a nap, and Gohan has to endure this horrible training method. Well, this old guy yells at him. Anyway, hours later, what happens? Everyone's kind of waiting, and they've noticed a change in Boo's ki, and everyone seems to be dead. And they can't seem to see anyone. But they're all in the Soul Time room, the hyperspace chamber, whatever. And they're not sure where Dende's gone. Gohan's feeling pretty strong now. Gohan's power has increased. But anyway, Boo's ki has gone outside the hyperspace time room, and it looks like Gotenks is about to fight against Boo. Gotenks says, you can't get away. Boo says, really? And Boo basically tells Gotenks that he ate every single person and changed them to chocolate. And Gotenks is very mad, he's not happy at all. And that's the end of this episode. Please let me know if you liked it, and please subscribe. Thank you, see you next time.